aside from the Packers.
Yeah.
They changed. Well, the Twins haven't had a lot of changes.
If you want to go into the Twins, Molitor was given everything he needed to this year to succeed.
Right.
And Sano had problems. Mm-hmm. Buxton had problems and injuries. Those two are your key guys. And then the front office, Thalvin Levine, Favine as I like to call them, they picked up some guys in the offseason. They've done some things and whatever. You can't blame the Twins' failures all on Paul Molitor. You have to look at the front office and say, did you do what you needed to do?
Right.
And, of course, then that goes up to, for the Twins, that goes up to the ownership, the Pohlads. Do they want to spend the money? And again, with our thing, with the Loons ownership, does McGuire, does he want to spend the money yet?
Right.
Maybe next year, when we get in Allianz Field,
right,
he'll want to spend money. Or in 2 years, when he's making the money from Allianz Field and everything around it,
right,
maybe he'll want to spend money. But what they've done right now, getting international players, I think they've done a pretty fantastic job. Not spending too much money, but kind of growing themselves there.
And I think that's the big thing when we get back to this passing grade and, whether it's passing or not and whether Manny's brought in the right players is again left to be seen because Romario and Angelo are too new to really evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's too new to evaluate.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Alexi's been a swing and a miss. Paying out maybe, but he's still 23. Yeah. A Wendy Koa who's been out on loan in North Carolina. Again, he's super young.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. When it comes to the money, I've been trying to argue a lot that it's like, again, everything about our stadium has been financed privately.
It has, yeah.
And so you've got a stadium that was originally supposed to be 150, ended up being like 250.
Yep.
Then you've got your 150 million fee, franchise fee, and then you've got your 30 million that went to the training facility.
Yep.
Which I remember Taylor Twellman saying when he got to tour. I think it was when that International Champions Cup was in. He said it was one of the best training facilities he's seen.
Yeah.
So you've got all this money that's adding up. That's totaling near $500 million. Yep. That's been all personal money.
McGuire and his associates.
And you look at Atlanta. We've had this discussion before. Arthur Blank worth way more money than McGuire.
No shit.
But he literally spent $0.
He did. Yeah.
On the stadium.
Yep. No, he didn't have to.
And the only money he's put forward on Atlanta United was the 150 transfer or the franchise fee. So when you look at, we only have one comparison, and it's Atlanta. Because they came in the same time.
That's right.
You've got LA, but again, LA had an ownership group of 30 people.
Yep.
Their stadium is privately financed, but they had 30 owners. Or they have 30 owners. I think in those sense, you have to say, okay, what has Adrian been given with the money that McGuire was willing to spend, as you've mentioned, based on the money that McGuire has already spent.
Yep.
I mean, we're not even talking about the stuff he spent in his NASL days, right?
He spent money. He spent millions of dollars on that too.
Yeah. So it's like you have to consider all of those things. You can even argue somewhat, as much as I'm hating myself at this point, that Manny is not quite given the benefit of the doubt because of all of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't like Manny Lego, so
Yeah, there's two things to this. One is ownership group. I look at Arthur Blank and billions and billions of dollars, right? What was he on? Home Depot? Is it Home Depot, right?
I think so.
Home Depot, big company, right? Bill McGuire, what did he do?
Well, he was CEO of
CEO
United Health. But
United Health,
that's not
and
the
he
same thing.
cashed out, and he got lots of money, but that's what he has. Okay,
Yeah.
Arthur Blank can have his stadium right now has the lowest price on concessions.
Yeah.
Because he says, "Oh, people should be able." Oh, that's because you didn't spend money on this damn stadium, dude. You can do that shit. Guess what's going to happen when we go to Allianz Field? Prices are going to be what they are at. Probably not at the bank. Bank is super high.
Yeah.
But they're going to be about what they are for Target Field and those places. And people are going to be mad about it. But the fact is, he paid for this whole thing himself. We knew he couldn't get it through the Senate of Minnesota. It was not going to happen. So he did it himself. To Manny Lagos reminds me, well, it's the same way it is in a lot of Minnesota sports. We get a guy who's been with the team for a long time, and all of a sudden he becomes our general manager, coach, whatever it is.
Yep.
And we go, well, he's been here. I see articles about Manny. Well, he's been here since the NASL and the Thunder days. He's been here since we played. Did he play for the Thunder? I think he played for the Thunder.
Yeah, he did right before.
For his dad, right? So he's been here since the dawn of time of soccer in Minnesota. Yeah. And now he is the general manager of this team. That becomes a problem for teams like ours because we start thinking, well, he's one of us. Let's give him benefit of the doubt. Blah, blah, blah. No. The Twins went through this with their last general manager, and I can't think of his name. And they got Thad Levine and Derek Falvey. They brought those guys in. The Timberwolves, same deal. They had general manager been with them forever, and they brought in Thibodeau, and we'll talk about that. The Vikings, same deal. They've all gone through this before, right? Where you've had guys who've been here forever, and then you keep them there because you think, well, they're Minnesota guys. They've been. Let's just give them an opportunity.
Yep.
Lagos has maybe one half of a year left. Maybe. If they do not step it up next half of next year, he should be gone. That's the way it should work.
Yeah, I agree.
And nothing against him. Manny Lagos and the Lagos family has done a lot for soccer in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay? I have no problems with that. But you can't go into this position now and screw up and think you're just going to hang out.
Yep.
It's MLS now.
I agree.
We got to make money. We got to put butts in the seats. And Allianz Field is only going to have butts in the seats for 1 year. If they suck, the year after that, we're screwed.
Yeah, I agree.
So, on that, let's go off to our next subject, which is the announcement that Madison Pro Soccer is going to be our affiliate in, what is it?
Next year.
Next year, is it USL? USL League 2, I think?
It is... League 1.
League 1, okay. So
which is Division 3.
Division 3. So MLS would be what? Division 1.
So then the USL Championship is
League 2. Okay, so League 3. So we're going to become affiliates with a third tier. I'd call it third tier, right?
Yeah.
Third tier soccer team in Madison, Wisconsin, which is exciting for us, I think, because I guess they want to kind of go the way of England. We were talking about this before the podcast. They want to go the way of England and have this kind of affiliates and kind of stuff like that. And we can go on a road trip and see Madison play and maybe see some players that will play on the Loons at some point in the future. What do you think this does for us in terms of our team? Does it help us?
Well, I think it's a huge benefit because, right now we have, Mason Toy's been in with the Switchbacks, Colorado Springs. Mm-hmm. He was back last night, but, it's kind of a back and forth. You got Alundia Co, who's in
Carolina?
Yeah, is that Charlotte? I can't remember.
think it's
Somewhere
like
in
that's
North
something.
Carolina. And then you have Almsberg, who's been out to Pittsburgh, I think it is. And then
Who's in Vegas?
yeah, and then Manly's in Vegas.
Manly's in Vegas, yeah. That's right.
And you know, that's tough. You've got
That's-
you've got four guys that are off in four different areas. It doesn't make any sense. You know, you ultimately want to have that affiliate team where you can send every single player
Exactly right.
to the exact
Exactly
same
right.
team.
Yep.
They can maybe even play together. You know,
Yep.
they're going to get minutes together for sure.
Yep.
And so the affiliate agreement also gives you a little bit of control over, you know, how they're played.
Yep.
You know, how many minutes they get. You know, there's probably going to be a situation where it's like, well, this player isn't doing so well. Mm-hmm. They're going to, you know, Madison's going to have to come back to MNUFC and be like, okay, he's been getting minutes, but he's not doing well.
Yeah.
Can we start sitting him? You know, there's those
Sure,
control
sure.
situations.
Sure.
Or that you're not going to get with what we're doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's huge, and in my opinion, I think that's how we should be. You know, this is only going to be for 2019, the way it sounds.
Yeah.
And then they want to have their own, like, Minnesota United tour or whatever it's going to be.
Yeah.
I think that's a bad idea. I think we should just do an affiliate
So-
and be over.
If they did their own Minnesota United 2, I mean, where would that be, though?
It would be in the same.
It'd be in Madison?
Yeah, I think it would be somewhere, but it would be probably, I would bet it'd be like Rochester or something. But it'd be in the same league as Madison.
All right.
Yeah. I think from what I've heard, USL is telling MLS that your second tier teams can be in USL, but they have to be down.
So there cannot be. What you're saying is we can have a third tier, but a second tier that's still kind of you can't be affiliated with a second tier,
Right. And
So-
and that's the way. I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
If you're not going to do what England does with having the reserve league, I think it needs to be set up in a way that they're not really like second division. They're down further.
Sure.
I just yeah.
I got excited about this because it's kind of look at it as like minor league baseball.
Right.
Years ago, me and Dave Stevens went to go see Joe Mauer when he played for the single A affiliates of the Twins down in the Quad Cities.
Okay.
So we got to see him when he was like 19, which was awesome, right? And it was a great road trip. So to be in Madison for a year, like we talked before, we could do a road trip next summer and go see some guys who potentially could be with the Loons, and decide to get their own team, which you don't want to happen, but it could potentially happen.
I think it will. Yeah.
Rochester or even Duluth could be like two of those places that they could do. That'd be even better because then we have road trip opportunities to go to those places. Or Fargo. Well, Fargo. Yeah.
Hopefully not.
Alexandria. Well, Alexandria would be nice. Could we do Alexandria maybe? Because that'd be closer here.
It's kind of small though.
I know, but they could get big for soccer. You get all those farm people out there. No, they wouldn't do Alexandria. They wouldn't do it. They didn't do St. Cloud. I mean, St.
All
Cloud.
those offensive lineman size players.
Yeah, the big white guys. And
Yeah.
we'll play soccer. We'll kick the ball. Sorry if there's any big guys. So Rochester, potentially, well, more than likely, maybe Duluth. Maybe Iowa. They could do an Iowa team, like Des Moines or something like that. But the fact of the matter is getting this involvement with us, getting a relationship with that just helps us in the long term. Immensely. And it's exciting because you want to go see those young guys play. And it's cool to see lower leagues play. You and I and all of our friends went to go see the Loons when they were in USL.
Yep.
And I saw them also when they were in the leagues before that up in Blaine. And that was always a fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're never going to get that back.
Right.
But we can see it maybe for a weekend at like Madison or Rochester, Duluth, see it for a weekend and have a good time.
And actually, now that you're mentioning it, I think Milwaukee would be a fantastic place
That's
for affiliate.
Yeah.